We're gonna keep it at this width. Is this getting recorded for all posterity? So hopefully the footage you just saw that was shot by my cousins came out okay and actually illustrates how we built it. But I figure I'll just walk you around it at this stage. We are done with the wood construction. We still have a bit of waterproofing to do. But you can see what we're now looking at is the top of the boat. It's resting on its side on sawhorses. And it's kind of got a coffin type shape to it. It's narrow at the front, flares in the middle, and narrows at the bottom again. I was looking for a wide boat to give me as much displacement as possible so I can hold as much weight in the boat without it sinking. I've seen videos of one sheet plywood boats where the boat is resting very low in the water, and I wanted to at least put one or two children in it besides me, so figured by going a little wider, having taller sides, we can displace a bit more water, carry a bit more weight. But as I looked at the bottom, which I had originally made rectangular and 2.5 foot wide, it was just too wide, so I narrowed it up a little bit. And the way we accomplish that is with the sides are 18 inches wide, and all the plywood is 3/8 inch CDX construction grade plywood. And you can see here, I have a kerf set into the plywood, and it goes about a third of the way in. It goes 1 ply into a 3-ply board. And that was enough to get the plywood at the 2 points set. So I just took the base and I chalked straight lines and I cut triangles off the corners and used a curved piece of 3/8 inch plywood here. When making this outer banding out of 2x2, again I just put a kerf in the 2x2, clamped and screwed it as I went, and that was enough. All the joinery is simply plywood butt joints with 2x2s in the corner. Everything is fastened from the outside. These are just 1.5 inch Craig screws. Nothing too fancy. They're self-tapping. They cinch it nice and tight. They were cheap and easy to use. The shadows are kind of playing with us here, but here along the top you can see there's just lots and lots of screws, and I'll end up having to seal all these. The bottom, the cleats on the inside are recessed a little bit so that the sides rest on the bottom, and you can see that joint here. What I've done is just the caulk that's in the joint I've smoothed out, but I still have to apply the exterior caulking to it, so that's why some of it's exposed and some of it's not. So that's the way those joints go. On the sides, it's not so pretty a joint, but I'll caulk it all. It was all done by eye with chalk lines, and I think it came out okay. So that's what we have here, and then on the outside I put this banding on the exterior side. At the back, because I had quite a bow in this back piece here, I put wood on the inside and outside to strengthen it a bit. I don't necessarily need to, it's not like it's getting a motor, but I figured what the hell. And then this cross piece right here is because the base was holding it in, but the wood was cupping, so it was wider at the bottom than it is at the top. So I put that cross brace in. It's still wider at the bottom than it is at the top, because I expanded it as much as I could until I heard cracking, and that's where we stopped. But we're still about 2 inches narrower at the top than we are at the bottom. But that's where we stand. This front piece is just cut at a 45, nothing too fancy there. And now I'm going to start caulking everything. I've got it on its side so I can caulk the inside first, and then I'm going to flip it upside down and start sealing the outside. But that's the construction so far. Here's the keel assembled. The keel is just the same 3/8 inch plywood the rest of the boat's made out of, and since it runs out and runs perpendicular in the field of this 3/8 inch plywood, wasn't sure I would connect the two, so what I did was I made the keel L-shaped, turns on the block. Here I have little blocks of 2x2 that are screwed through the keel into each other, and then screwed this way through the back of the boat into the internal 2x2 ribbing that runs along this back bottom edge. And that attached it, but it still had some bow to it, so I took these triangle sheets of plywood and I stuck them in, and here they're screwed into this 2x2, and on the inside again it's screwed into the 2x2 that's on the inside edge of the corner. So hopefully that'll keep the keel on. The keel is relatively straight and relatively centered, and hopefully we won't end up just paddling in circles.
My turn to sit down? Oh, step down. A person that looks like
Never.
All right, you can walk. You guys want to come sit here?
She floats!
It didn't catch on fire.
There's no weight in her.
This could have held the three of us, I bet. Oh god.
I think it would have needed more plywood.
Up the side?
The bottom is not as strong. Like,
We're setting real salmon now. Waiting a little forward.
Oh, who knows?
Mexico.
As you can see, Mexico.
What do you think, Dylan?
I appreciate the value of round oar handles. I'm not digging this rope. I'd be fine just burning it on the ocean.
Do it.
You're gonna light that thing and throw it in the water? That's what